Welcome to the new series, the new thing, the new experiment, the new pointless test. I don't really know what to call it, to be honest. The new thing I'm putting myself through. I don't know. Welcome to it. Also, welcome to all the new people who came to my channel from Outlaws couple of videos. Since you're new, oh shit, my phone's low. This was a terrible decision to start not streaming, the other thing, recording. My phone was low. Gonna have to go plug it in before I can finish my point. So frustrating, so annoying. Good thing it's the same connection. Anyway, welcome one, welcome all. You may not know, if you're new, that this is not my main gig. This is a side project thing. I'm gonna make a fucking separate video about this, but I'm not a YouTuber, as I kept saying this morning in that stream. This is my second channel. Go to my main channel. It'll be in the description, and go listen to my music, because that's please, just I'm begging you. I'm begging someone needs to listen to it, please. Anyway, now with that out of the way, let's talk about the thing I'm doing to myself for no reason. So when I get into something, I generally like things. Hey, look, it's connected to my previous point. I'm so clever in making segues. So I like to say I generally am a fan of stuff that there's a surface level to it which you can enjoy, but if it really speaks to you, you can really dig deeper, and there's a lot more content or a lot more stuff to it that you can add that enhances the overall experience. And I mean, there's some obvious examples of this. I think probably the most obvious example would be like Digibro, since I bring him up because I know a lot of people here will know who he is. If you happen to like Digibro videos, you can pretty much endlessly go down and continue to find deeper and deeper content surrounding him, and then go off from there to like Endless Jess and the PCP and all those people, and eventually end up here, that sort of thing. I'm a big fan of that stuff where you can just endlessly dig deep. And so one of my favorite films, or it's probably not my favorite of all time, but it's definitely up there in my top 10, is Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2. And so what I am doing is I am watching every single film that is referenced in Kill Bill Parts 1 and 2. Now, I'm not sure if you guys know Quentin Tarantino, but there's a lot of fucking references in these two films. It's absurd. It's absurd how many references are in these two films. It's probably hundreds of movies, or at least 100 movies I'm gonna have to watch. Why am I doing this to myself? No idea. Anyway, I'm making this video series to sort of hold myself accountable so I don't give up halfway through. And I'm gonna go through and watch every single film that's referenced. Fortunately, because the internet is a wonderful thing, there is a website, if I can remember how to type words, there is a website that has logged every single reference. This is just the Chinese cinema, which is what I was doing first. I hear a strange noise. I think it's just my ear. I think it's my ear making that noise. Anyway, they're organised helpfully into different categories, and there's a fucking lot of them. There's a lot of references in this, and most of them I haven't seen. I went through them all. There's only 3 or 4 films that I've already seen. So it's a bit insane. It's a bit nuts for me to do this, because there's a lot. And then after I finished all of it, I'm going to go back and rewatch volumes Kill Bill 1 and 2, and then I'm going to understand it on a higher level, and I'm going to be the best person ever. I'm going to be the best person. So the first one I watched was the 36th Chamber of Shaolin, which should be in Chinese cinema. Here, the 36th Chamber of Shaolin, aka Shaolin Master Killer. It's fucking, firstly, preface, I was really stoned when I watched it, so I don't remember it super well, but I remember it being fucking awesome, and it was sick. It was just amazing. Also, I watched the dub because Wu-Tang references, Wu-Tang samples, they sampled that shit, so gotta watch the dub so I can understand, so I can get that, I can be like, hey, there's that thing from that other thing, haha. Film was fucking sick. I can definitely see where, like, instantly I can see how it was inspired, how it did inspire Kill Bill, the directing style, especially for the Pai Mei training sequence. Oh, by the way, if you haven't seen these films, I don't really give a shit about spoilers, so you should just assume that if I'm talking about something, I'm going to spoil the fuck out of it. So, in Volume 2, the bride goes to Pai Mei to be taught Kung Fu, and the visual and cinematic language during that section of the film is very similar to 36th Chamber. It's definitely inspired by 36th Chamber of Shaolin. I can see a lot of visual, whatever it's called, references from one to the other. Also, Gordon Liu. Also, the title card at the beginning of Kill Bill is taken from this movie, I think. It might just be from a lot of Kung Fu movies. I don't know. I haven't seen many Kung Fu movies. But I'm going to have seen a lot of Kung Fu movies by the time this is over. So apparently one of the people who's in this film, Gordon Liu, also plays someone... I think he plays Pai Mei, right? I might be wrong. I'm going to look this up. Gordon Liu Pai Mei. Am I right? Am I right? Hold on a fucking second. Okay, never mind. Just ignore me. He also later became known for his 2 roles in Quentin Tarantino's Johnny Mo, the leader of the Crazy 88, and he plays both the leader of the Crazy 88, Johnny Mo, and also Pai Mei in Volume 2. And he's also the lead in 36th Chamber of Shaolin, San Te. So that's fucking sick. And yeah, I have to say, I would recommend the 36th Chamber of Shaolin. Be aware, it's very idiosyncratic of Chinese cinema, which is a little shocking for me as someone who's not... Like, I've seen a few Hong Kong action movies. I've seen some Chow Yun-fat movies. I've seen some early Jackie Chan stuff, like a Drunken Master. But generally I'm not super well acquainted with this sort of filmic language, and it's very like there's a lot of there's definitely a cultural difference here. There's a much less of a focus on realism than in American cinema, but you know, having seen, I think Kill Bill does some interesting stuff where it's drawing parallels between the kung fu movies and westerns and samurai movies, and sort of pointing out that they all have these like common factors that cross cultural boundaries, and I can definitely appreciate that watching this 36th Chamber of Shaolin. That there are elements, like, no, even though culturally... Oh, the other thing, I know I didn't even mention this, the other thing is that the film's like it's probably the best anti-fascist film I've ever seen. It's literally about a guy who this fascist Manchu government is taking over his town, and they're like executing people for speaking out against him, and his teacher is a rebel speaking out against them, and they kill him, and then he goes off to learn kung fu so he can defeat them, and then most of the film is him learning kung fu. But then when he comes back and defeats them, afterwards he's like, I'm gonna go teach... This is a simplification, but he's basically like, I'm gonna go teach kung fu to all the people. I'm gonna make my own kung fu school to teach kung fu to the common working people so they can fight against fascism. Fucking sick. Awesome. Dope. Amazing. It was great. Would highly recommend you watch it. The dub was also pretty good. I'm used to anime dubs, which are generally trash, but I was surprised by how good this dub, like, it was good. I'm not used to seeing dubs that actually work and are well acted and stuff. So that was interesting and good. So there it is, the first episode of this show where I talk about movies that I'd done seen and then related to Kill Bill. It's a pretty stupid show given the fact that I'm not really a film critic. Don't have anything interesting to say about films. Mostly making this series to hold myself accountable so that I end up watching all of these films because there's a lot of them and I know I will give up. This is the sort of thing that I always give up on, and this time I want to see it through to the end, and the best way to do that is to make it so that it would be embarrassing for me to stop because a lot of people know I'm doing it. I'm not necessarily going to watch like one of these films every single day, but I'm going to try and get as close to that as possible. I want to watch like multiple of these a week so I can get through them relatively fast. So expect a lot of these videos. This one's extra long, but I'll try and make them shorter in the future because I have to explain the premise of the series and also other stuff. I'll make them shorter in the future so they'll just be like a quick overview and stuff. But yeah, that's this one. That's this video over. That's this video and it's over.